I'm late to the party, but I've finally gotten around to playing Princess Peach Showtime, and I gotta say, there was zero chance in my mind that this game was actually gonna be good, that I was actually gonna like it. I mean, look at it. It's for little girls. This game is clearly for little girls. Which begs the question, why did I buy it if I didn't think I would like it? Well, unfortunately, I have a little thing called a spending addiction, and I'll pretty much buy anything with the word Nintendo slapped on it, as you can see, including the word Nintendo. Princess Peach Showtime is a game created in order to be purchased by the parents of small girls. There is no denying it. Yet as I played this game, I couldn't help but have an overwhelming feeling come over me. One I didn't expect. It felt like enjoyment? Shockingly, and despite the lukewarm reception, I think this game is quite good. It's cute and simple, yes, but also charming and endearing, with enough diversity in the gameplay to actually keep me, a 26-year-old man, engaged while playing. I also love what the game represents, given that this is literally the second game Nintendo has ever made starring Princess Peach, which seems crazy with how popular of a character Peach is. I mean, the first game starring Peach was Super Princess Peach for the DS, all the way back in 2005. Literally 20 years ago. Side note, the fact that in the first ever game Nintendo made starring Peach, the main gimmick is that Peach has really strong emotions. It's pretty funny when you think about it. They made a game starring a woman, and the gameplay is that she's got all these wacky emotions that you need to manipulate in order to achieve your goal. What did Nintendo mean by this? The premise of Princess Peach Showtime is that Peach and some toads, they go to a theater to see a performance, yada yada yada. Shenanigans ensue as this evil person called Grape takes over the theater in order to, put on a performance of her own or something. Okay, I don't really remember what the villain's evil intentions are, but does it really matter? Peach has to work with this little sparkle demon thing called Stella to defeat Grape and take back the theater. Big stakes. Peach can go into different stages that mimic play and take on different roles to defeat the various bad guys. It plays out that each stage has very different mechanics from each other, which really helps keep the game engaging. There's also a second stage for each different role, which kind of builds on the previously established mechanics in the first stage. Now, some of the stages are an absolute blast, while some of them are a bit more tedious. In my opinion, the absolute worst are the detective stages. Those ones are just completely boring and lame. They're essentially just point-and-click games, but even worse. At least with a point-and-click, you can just point and click. In this one, you have to awkwardly fumble about the stage and try to aim Peach at the right object that she needs to investigate. You know, the puzzles in each stage are trivially easy. Again, I understand that this is a game for small children, but they were pretty insultingly easy. Also, there are the baking stages. Those are just okay, but mostly pretty boring. I even found them slightly tedious, like with decorating the cakes, but the cookies were slightly fun and slightly challenging. The ninja stages, on the other hand, are probably the most fun ones. Honestly, all the ones involving combat were probably my favorites. Like, you wouldn't even really think that the combat would be fun because it's just button mashing, which I literally just criticized Kingdom Hearts for doing. But with the Kung Fu stages, you knock the enemies around as you hit them, and then when you get into boss fights in there, it plays out more like a rhythm game, so yeah, that's pretty sick. The ninja ones are fun because it mixes in some very basic stealth elements in a way that I found to be cute and simple. Also, the Japanese theming of the stage is very cool. I'm a complete sucker for when stages and games take on traditional, I don't know, Edo period aesthetics. That always gets me hyped. There is also Persona 5 Peach. I don't have anything to add, I just like Persona 5 Peach. Yeah, I like the various boss fights throughout the game. They're just difficult enough to keep me engaged while also being easy enough that I could absolutely see a kid being able to pull them off after a couple tries. That said, I hated the Projector Cat boss fight. That one was tedious and fucking stupid. For whatever reason, I had so much trouble jumping over the claws. That attack hit me literally every single time. It also took me slightly longer than I'd care to admit to figure out how to even damage the boss in that one. It was slightly frustrating. Otherwise, though, I was a fan of the boss fights. I was pretty taken aback by the final boss fight, though. Number 1, turning into Super Saiyan Peach. That's sick. Love that. Number 2, the fight was underwhelming. I wish it went on longer and played around with the mechanics a bit more. It would have been cool if it blended elements from all the previous boss fights or from all the different types of plays in the game, but it kind of just does its own thing instead, which is fine. It was fine, you know, a solid boss fight. But for the final fight at the end of the game, I just wasn't blown away by it. All the stages in the game are quite short and sweet, which honestly is fine because the game itself is short and sweet. And I have a few things to say about that. Number 1, that is exactly the kind of game I needed to play right now. I just finally got done playing Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake, and it took me around 60 hours to beat that game. a lot of which was just straight up grinding. I desperately needed a short, sweet palate cleanser type game before I got straight into another long RPG, and this couldn't be better. DQ3 took me like over a month to beat. I beat Princess Peach Showtime in 3 days. Now, on the other side of that, $60 fucking dollars for this little romp? Nintendo is absolutely insane to charge $60 for this game, alongside games like Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild, also going for $60, both of which have significantly more replayability and content just overall. Unfortunately, that's a much broader discussion, one which many people have been having for many years at this point. Princess Peach Showtime is a $40 game max, and honestly, $40 is even pushing it when you compare this game to some indie games out there. Animal Well has significantly more replayability and is $25. Balatro has arguably more replayability than Animal Well, and it's $15. Literally a quarter of the price of Princess Peach Showtime. Celeste is $20, Stardew Valley is $20 normally, on sale for $15 right now, which is a steal, honestly. It could be like a $30 game for Stardew Valley. It's such a good game. Dave the Diver is $20. Even compared to other AAA studios, it's nuts. Like the remaster of Horizon Zero Dawn for the PS5 was $50, and that's just night and day the amount of content that is in that game versus Princess Peach Showtime. And the fact that it is a remaster is not lost on me. Either way, it was $10 less than the cost of Princess Peach Showtime. Nintendo can charge whatever they want for games because idiots like me who fancy themselves collectors will buy them. And for that, I would like to apologize. Genuinely, I'm part of the problem. Now, those are my thoughts on Princess Peach Showtime. I'd give this game like a 7 out of 10. Surprisingly fun for what it is. I would say pick it up if it ever goes on sale, because as things stand, it is definitely not worth $60 for this experience. Did any of you guys play Princess Peach Showtime? And if you did, what did you think of it? How would you rate it out of 10? I'll be curious to read your thoughts in the comments here. Reminder to like and subscribe if you feel like it. Although it's also fine if you're listening to this while in the shower and you just, can't be bothered to reach for your phone. That's okay, I get it. Next week's video, I should be uploading my rankings of the best games that I personally played in 2024. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.